Howdy, folks. Woodrow Wallace from NeedCoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer review. For the uninitiated, here's how it works. Oh my god, for a second it said 11 miles to empty. I'm like, oh crap, this better be a haiku of a Wayhomer. But no, here's how it works. I've just left the cinema, which is behind you that way, and I've seen a film. And I'm going to tell you about that film on my way home. And today we're here to talk about Drive. Speaking of driving, no camera wrangler. Ghost. Okay, so, Drive. What can we say? Well, first of all, I picked Drive for the film that I wanted to see today because, you know, what are the choices? You've got, I don't know how she does it, which I don't know how that would interest me. And you've got Straw Dogs, which is like, okay, first, why would you remake that? Okay, what could you bring to the table unless perhaps the Kate Bosworth character in that is the one who actually flips, you know, and becomes the defender of the home type of thing, and instead of the, you know, the James Marsden, Dustin Hoffman character like the original. You know, kind of like what they, the change-up they did in the Night of the Living Dead remake from, well, which remake? Jesus, was that 1990? Anyway, but no, I mean, and the second reason to not see Straw Dogs is because, as I may have mentioned online, I'm getting really annoyed with films that basically show a character on a poster and then have like a tagline on the poster that basically describes their character so they don't actually have to explain anything. It's like Kate Bosworth appearing on a poster and it says, "Don't let them in." And I'm like, what is this shorthand for, what is this? This is character, we want to brief you on the character before you show up? I mean, it's Straw Dogs. Watch if nothing else, if you don't know what the film is, watch the trailer. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about Straw Dogs. I haven't seen Straw Dogs. It might be genius. I'm just saying, my choice was Drive because the trailer was actually very interesting. And the idea of Albert Brooks playing Heavy appealed to me because I really like Albert Brooks, even though he has no eyebrows, which is weird. Anyway, so Drive, synopsis. Synopsis is, Ryan Gosling is this guy who is apparently like a savant behind the wheel, right? He is a badass behind the wheel. Like, for example, you remember, even if you didn't see the movie, you saw the trailer where The Rock was warning the other cops in Fast 5, whatever we do, don't let them behind the wheels of a car, because they'll break physics and tow us safe through the streets of Rio. Like, you know, but Ryan Gosling is like that, but for real, except without the physics breaking stuff. So, he works as a mechanic, he works as a stunt driver for the movies, and he moonlights as basically your go-to guy for getaway driving. And you've seen in the trailer, he's just very methodical, he thinks of everything, and he will get your ass out of there, apparently. So, long story short, gets involved in a mishmash of various shady people, and I don't remember. It's sort of in the trailer, but not really, so I don't want to spoil anything. But basically, shady people come up with a reason why they want him dead, and thus deadening tries to happen, if that makes any sense. And he has to, I don't know, how would you say it? Drive his way out of it? I don't know. Anyway, so it's a lousy synopsis, but I mean, it's just one of those things. So basically, here's the deal. You start off the film, and you've got this opening, basically a getaway sequence, which is extremely well executed. And you get the feeling from watching that, or at least I got the feeling from watching that, is that you go, okay, well, this is going to be, because it's basically demonstrated that he is like Wolverine behind the wheel, which is hilarious because, you know, well, not hilarious, but interesting, perhaps, that because Hugh Jackman was originally supposed to play the role. So, but he's Wolverine, and I say that in the way that he is the best there is at what he does. And basically, he just preps for everything. He thinks of everything, timing, speed, radios, clocks, whatever. He just plans for it, and he does it. So, so you go, okay, I'm going to see a movie about a guy who's a specialist at this, and that can be cool. It's kind of like The Transporter, but with less flippy gun fu type of stuff, right? So, okay, cool. But then you get into the opening credits, which, and the film just in general features a completely retro-tastic soundtrack, okay? And that music kicks in, and I know this is going to sound silly, but some of you who notice such things are going to know what I'm talking about, in that the font comes up on the screen, right? And you just go, oh, well, this is so very 80s. So you go, okay, well, maybe I'm going to get, an 80s throwback. We've talked about that like it's an homage to a particular type of film. This could be like, an 80s kind of film about the specialist. They used to do those Canon pictures and all. They used to do them all the time, and they were, okay for what they were, but they weren't, high art or anything. And you go, okay, well, I could do that. I could do a mashup of this. I'm good with that. Then you get into the film, and you have this love interest story going on, and that is, you go, okay, well, I'm trying to make sense of this Franken film that you're putting together, because it really does feel like, and I know some people get irritated when critics say this, but it really does feel like it could have gone in any of those three directions, or perhaps the first two directions combined, like I was talking about, but it doesn't really gel with all three. And part of the problem with that is that you have Ryan Gosling, okay, he's fine. You've got Carey Mulligan, who's excellent. And for those of you going, who? Okay, she was the lead in the Blink episode of Doctor Who. Oh, there you go. Now, but they have scenes in which, okay, you know how in real life, when you're with somebody and you're attracted to them, and you kind of sort of think they might be attracted to you, and you have that kind of mutual, I don't know if they're attracted, but I find them attracted kind of thing, and you're trying to have a conversation, but there's just these really weird, awkward pauses, and they probably feel fine to you because you're in the moment, but anyone watching them is going to go, what the hell's wrong with you people? Okay, those happen like a lot. And just keep going past when you just go, wow, I totally understand what you're trying to do here, and I really wish you would move, because, and I'm thinking to the director, if this keeps up, you could trim about 10 minutes off this film, which is never a good idea. When you're worried about your ass falling asleep because you're watching two actors who you know can do better, not saying anything, and you understand that silence is supposed to represent some kind of character development or something. I don't even know what this hand motion means. But it went beyond the point of, I get what you're saying, now this is no longer working. Now, to be fair, I will concede that what Gosling is doing with the character, and what no doubt he was directed to do with the character, that may have been useful for understanding the character later, okay? And in fact, I would say that it probably is. However, it still could have been trimmed, because I literally started leaving the film mentally. You know what I mean? When you're in it, and you're going, oh, I'm committed to this film, and something takes you out of the film, I was coming out of the film and having to try to claw my way back into it. So, that's a problem. The other thing is that because it's trying to, and in a lot of cases, achieving that kind of art film mentality, and you know what I mean by that, where some films do it, right? And you go, wow, that was really gorgeous, or wow, that was really stylized, or wow, that was really interesting. And then you get that wow moment of just watching something really well executed. And then you have some films that try to do that. And the problem is that when you try to do it and you don't succeed, there's a fine line between a well-executed kind of high art feeling film and a just pretentious feeling high art film. You know what I mean? You can overshoot and just, if you miss it, then you're screwed, right? There are moments that feel like that because you just go, oh man, why did you do that just a second ago? It was gorgeous. So I had some moments like that. And the other thing is, if we go back to the first sort of film it could have been, with the best there is at what they do sort of thing, that sort of thing, then and it would be hilarious if I was actually stopping, because I don't know who these people are that are asking for something or selling something, but I would love to get them on camera and just go, what do you think about the movie Drive? I don't know if you even saw them while I was pulling up. Anyway, so, the hell was I saying? Oh, yes, well, apart from turning right, I was saying that things go wrong, and you know that there are going to be, to say it mildly, hijinks, right? Hijinks of the boot-stomping variety, stabby, blunt instrument, more stabby, slicey variety, okay? So, you know that's going to happen. You know that that's going to unravel. And you know, I mean, there are lots of different directions that it can unravel. You know what I mean? But, I don't know. It just felt like that piece of it didn't pay off as well as I wanted it to. And, when you've got actors who are backing you up like Albert Brooks, who's good, and Ron Perlman, who's always good, and Bryan Cranston, who's quite good, okay? And I know I need to watch Breaking Bad, and I'm going to get to it, I swear to God, because everyone, just so people will leave me alone about it. But I know that's supposed to be excellent, and I'm so happy that he's, moved on from Malcolm in the Middle, which I could not stand as a show. But anyway, you've got this great cast, so when you get back into dealing with them and dealing with their characters, I just wanted more payoff in that sense. It's like, I don't know, not necessarily that I want it to be more complex or more twisty or more, I can't even put my finger on what it was, but there wasn't enough of it, whatever the hell it was, if that makes any sense at all. And again, I'm coming up with all this off the top of my head and processing the film as I'm driving away, so it might be clearer to me later. But here's the thing, it's an interesting film. It has, especially the opening sequence is really just masterfully done. And it's got that kind of, I don't know, that kind of tight 80s action feel that wasn't Canon. You know what I mean? And Canon, like two ends, not the one, but the film company. It wasn't cheesy. It was just really tight. And I really wanted that film. And it wasn't me coming into the film with the expectations. The film opened with it, and then just sort of didn't stick with it, and kind of touched back on it every so often. But if it had stayed with that, and managed to work in everything else, and managed to trim some of those silences out, I probably would have enjoyed it more. Now, am I unhappy that I saw the film? No, because there was enough moments of enjoyment, and it was interesting enough to watch, that I was kind of fascinated with trying to unravel it in my head as it went, and just sort of dissect what was happening on the screen and what the director was trying to do. So, all of that being said, cup-wise, I'm going to have to give it 2.5 out of 5. It kept veering all over the map as far as, and that's no pun intended, but as far as how I was feeling about the film, and so I think I just settled right in the middle, 2.5 out of 5. So, I would not warn you against it, but I would say that it's probably not the film that the trailer would lead you believe that it is. I think it tries to be more than that, and I don't think it makes it. I think I see what the director was trying to go for, and I would always applaud mistakes of ambition more than mistakes of sloth. So I can't necessarily say, oh, I wish he had just gone and made a straightforward, specialist car driver, kick-ass person type of movie, because that would almost be a mistake of sloth. That would be too easy to do. Granted, I still want to see that movie, but I'm just saying. So, 2.5 out of 5. I would say, if the concept still completely cranks your tractor, then I would, fine, go for it. I saw a really early matinee for $6. So I don't feel cheated of the fact that I spent $6 for it. But I wouldn't pay full price for it, and I would say it's probably going to look fine if you wait for DVD. So, yeah, I would go with that. And Albert Brooks can be evil. And it has nothing to do with the fact he has no eyebrows. But there you go. So there's Drive. Interesting. And that's about all I can say. Actually, no, I said a crap load before that. Anyway, so there you go. There's another Wayhomer in the can. Thanks to everybody who watches these things. And just very briefly, if you do enjoy these things, we are Need Coffee is for the most part reader supported, which is why we don't do anything crazy like have auto-playing videos or flash things that cover up the site or any of that annoying stuff that makes you want to, put somebody's eye out with a fork. The way we can do that is we're reader supported, and you can support us a couple of different ways. First of all, if you like this or anything else on Need Coffee, please retweet it, share it on Facebook, share it on Google+. Wherever you do that sherry thing, do so. Stumbling is also nice. Stumbling is wonderful, in fact. Makes no sense. Traffic comes from nowhere, but we like that. So that's how you can support us, number one. Number two is you can support us financially. For the price that you pay for an iTunes song, is the example I always use, because it's 99 cents. For literally about 99 cents a week, you can get Need Coffee stuff and help support, well, you get it anyway, but you can help support us for stuff like the camera, the fuel, the movie tickets, all that stuff is extremely helpful. So you can do that by going to needcoffee.com/support if you want to set up some sort of ongoing PayPal thing, or if you just want to go on a lump sum and get some free swag to boot, you can go to needcoffee.com/sponsorship. But needcoffee.com is free and will remain free because, damn it, it's about freedom. I don't know how to come out of that. Anyway, so there you go. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. It looks like we may have another one coming up before the weekend is out. Maybe it'll be up Monday, I don't know. But we'll see you then. Bye. Something just struck me as well. You know how when you leave a movie that's got a lot of high-speed car stuff in it, you find yourself, I don't know about you, but there's a tendency of people to drive faster and drive more recklessly after one of those films because you're all pumped up and the adrenaline, And my thing is, I'm like, and it's not just because I'm on camera and because I have this incredible dread of actually doing something stupid in an automobile while on camera. Those are people who think that I'm not safe. But I'm actually driving normally. This is the speed limit. I'm being extremely careful. I don't feel the urge at all to go do a rollover or, do a spin around. Not that I would know how to do them even if I wanted to. But I feel oddly calm. Yeah.